Hello and welcome to this edition of Howzzat. Good morning, Vijay. It's nice to have you back here. As always, two wonderful games, both seemingly one-sided, even though KKR seemed to make a match of it in the end. But it was a wonderful night of cricket last night.
Yes, and some familiar names getting runs. Those a lot of people would be happy to see Virat Kohli back in form, and it was a matter of time. He needed just one innings.
Virat, of course, was perhaps the big talking point yesterday, having got that half century and looked to be in very good touch as well. The cover drive coming through very nicely, and when you see Virat Kohli play the cover drive, he's got it right.
Yes, and in fact, I was talking to a friend. He made a good point. He says it never looked as if he was out of form. I mean, imagine he had failed in three innings, and there was a lot of pressure on him when he walked out to bat. And he never looked like out of form.
His batting made it very easy in the chase, and Virat, that we all know, seemed to be back. Of course, it's just one knock, but Virat, and he's going to capitalize on this and build on this from here on. And RCB will look a very, very different team with Virat Kohli and with Devdutt Padikkal, a very good find for the season. In top form and scoring runs, I think RCB looks a very different unit altogether.
Definitely, it will look a very strong unit now. And imagine Padikkal. I mean, having Virat Kohli at the other end, watching him so closely, and I'm sure as the tournament progresses, they will have much more partnerships, much more conversations, and these are only going to benefit Padikkal, because you can't have a better person to understand and also discuss your cricket than Virat.
I was watching Padikkal last night, that little interview of his during the game, and he said that batting with Virat was quite an experience in itself, and it must be a dream come true for him, for many cricketers, to be playing with the heroes who they have watched on television and dreamt of playing together, and then to be actually in a partnership like Devdutt Padikkal was with Virat Kohli last evening. Must actually lift their game completely, Vijay.
If you look back, you have someone called Sachin who grew up and then who watched some of his stars sitting on the boundary as a ball boy, and then look at Virendra Sehwag. He was honest to admit that he took to cricket because he saw Sachin belting those bowlers on television, and then he got to open with him. And there are so many other examples. And in Padikkal's case, I'm loving this batsman because he has so much of time to play the ball. He has all the shots, and he's stylish. Obviously, left-handers are stylish, but Padikkal has that languid, lazy elegance of David Gower.
I think the unhurried manner in which he plays his shots, and he's able to choose his shots really carefully, tells you that he's got ample time, and that he's making the right choices when he's batting at the crease. But yesterday he spoke about learning from Virat, having to take the match deep into the final over, and perhaps even stay long enough to win the game. And that is what Virat does regularly, and we got to see it yesterday.
In Padikkal's case, I mean, you look, he has every attribute of a very good batsman. He is a very good judge of a single. He's got a very keen eye. Look at his footwork, how quickly he's in position to play the ball, and his range of shots, and the fact that he's playing them fearlessly. Obviously, in a T20 game, you don't have much time, so you have to keep playing your shots. But this young man has transformed himself into one of the finest in this tournament, and I'm sure in years to come, he's going to make a huge mark on international cricket.
Someday soon, we will hear from Virat Kohli speak about Devdutt Padikkal himself. He said that he pinched himself after that first knock of his, but not any longer. It tells you how quickly these players grow in stature and in self-belief. And he's no longer that star-struck kid who has come into the big party and is finding all his superstars there. But let's talk a little bit about Virat Kohli's batting, Vijay. But before you and I get into conversation, let's listen to what Raj Kumar Sharma, his childhood coach, who continues to be his mentor, has to tell us.
अजीब सी बात थी कि पहले 3 मैचेस में उनके रन नहीं बने, मेरी बात भी हुई उनसे, लेकिन मैं भी बहुत ज़्यादा वरीड नहीं था, ना ही विराट वरीड था। कि मैंने सिर्फ उससे इतना पूछा कि बैटिंग कैसी हो रही है, तो वो बोला कि अच्छी हो रही है बैटिंग, तो विच वाज इम्पॉर्टेंट फॉर मी। आई न्यू कि वो अगर वो ठीक राइट फ्रेम ऑफ माइंड में है तो बल्लेबाजी अगर वो मिडिल कर रहा है तो उसे पता होता है। तो मैंने भी ज़्यादा उसको नहीं टोका कि मैं भी कॉन्फिडेंट था कि जब भी अपॉर्चुनिटी मिलेगी वो रन बनाएगा, और वैसा ही हुआ आज। ओनली कंसर्न मेरा जो था वो उनकी फील्डिंग को लेकर ज़्यादा था कि कैचेस काफ़ी छोटे हैं, लेकिन बल्लेबाजी के लिए मैं आई वॉज वेरी वेरी कॉन्फिडेंट कि ही विल बाउंस बैक, क्योंकि उसको जो एक भूख है रन बनाने की, और इतने दिनों से वो बाहर बैठा हुआ है, 5-6 महीने से क्रिकेट नहीं खेल रहा था, तो वैसे ही बहुत डेस्परेट था ग्राउंड पे आने के, और अनफॉर्चुनेटली पहले तीनों मैचों में जल्दी आउट हो गया। तो कहीं ना कहीं उसको वो था कि मुझे अब रन बनाने हैं, मेरे रन नहीं बने हैं, लेकिन आज विराट ने करके दिखाया कि वो जिस क्लास के बल्लेबाज है।
Thank you very much, Raj Kumar Sharma. It's always good to hear a coach's perspective. Vijay, it was wonderful to watch Virat Kohli bat the way he did, seemingly unperturbed by the string of failures that he had behind him.
I think he has always batted like this. He loves the pressure, and I knew that it was a matter of one innings. And also the fact that one call from Raj Kumar Sharma would mean a lot, because it wasn't that he was not applying his mind. It was just that maybe he was getting a good delivery and not able to judge the pace of the pitch. Now that he has come to terms with the playing conditions, I'm sure bowlers are going to have a nightmare thinking of coming and bowling to someone like Virat, and then someone like De Villiers, and then you have Padikkal at the top. I mean, he's dominating the whole tournament till now. So I'm not surprised, and it's just the way Virat is batted, and I'm sure he's going to have many more entertaining innings for us.
We spoke with Raja Venkat to get a different perspective on this game. Let's see what he has to say.
Skipper Virat Kohli's form is a revelation for them. With him, young Padikkal batting brilliantly, AB de Villiers, they seem to be a formidable side now. They are sure to make the top 4.
Thank you very much, Raja Venkat. Like you said, his fans will be delighted with what he did yesterday. The bowlers will start wondering if what they should be doing, and when Virat is up to them, of course, they will have to believe that they can get him out with that one special delivery, or for him to make a mistake. But he's not the sort who will make mistakes. Vijay, yesterday, though, the match was really set up by the RCB bowlers. They did a fabulous job for the Royal Challengers Bangalore. You had someone like a Chahal bowling brilliantly in that hot afternoon conditions in Abu Dhabi.
Chahal is experimenting. Chahal is growing as a leg spinner who has to be who's to be dreaded in the T20 form of cricket, because he is at the batsman always. I know he's thinking, planning, plotting. It is good to see spinners doing well. Even Avid Mishra did well in the other game, but Chahal, second man of the match in this tournament. He is going to love this tournament, especially because coming out of the lockdown without any practice, he hasn't looked short of match practice. He has looked as if he was bowling at home all the time. And for RCB, it is definitely good news. They haven't won the title so far in 12 tournaments, 12 editions. So here is a man who's conjuring dreams, who's looking to deliver when the team wants.
Also, Washington Sundar, again, no, not too many wickets for him, none in fact. But he played his part with the new ball, 4 overs for 20. And then you had Adam Zampa as well. So 3 very good spinners for Royal Challengers Bangalore to back Navdeep Saini's hard work. I think the pieces are falling in place for Royal Challengers Bangalore.
Pieces are falling in place with Saini has emerged as like you said, yes, there are other players who have made an impact. But look at Saini. I mean, he has also made an impact silently. Every match he has contributed, and he continues to spearhead the bowling. So RCB, I think every aspect of the preparation is falling in place and is taken care of. And someone like Virat at the helm and the experience of De Villiers, I think this is a good chance for RCB to win its maiden IPL title.
Also, we cannot ignore Isuru Udana, who has come in place of Dale Steyn and has bowled pretty well. And yesterday, he castled Steve Smith very early on and set the stage for Chahal to come and dismiss Sanju Samson.
Yeah, RCB was never honestly, it was never in trouble. They had planned, and maybe it took a while for them to get the winning runs, but they were always in control.
A coach will always be delighted when everything falls in place, when the jigsaw pieces come in and the whole picture is emerging beautifully. Let's listen to what Simon Katich has to say about the Royal Challengers Bangalore performance.
The way we stuck at it, particularly after the start that Rajasthan got, they were off to a flyer, and I think we pulled it back in about 15 ball period. We got 3 for about 6, and that really turned the game for us. And credit to our bowlers for what they were able to execute and get those wickets in a cluster and set the game up for us. Yeah, look, wickets in the power play are always very significant, and particularly when you've got the calibre of players that Rajasthan have. I mean, you know, to knock Steve Smith over early was excellent from Udana, and particularly the way that he did it. And then for Saini to come on and knock Butler over straight after that wicket, you know, he was off to a flyer, and he's such a dangerous player. So as soon as we got those first 2, you know, it certainly gave us some good impetus. And then for Chahal to take the catch he did to get rid of Samson, who's been in magnificent form, you know, those 3 big strikes set us up nicely for the rest of the innings. And credit to the guys for, I guess, the catches that were taken, but also the character that they showed, you know, not letting Rajasthan get away after they got away to a great start. I think the biggest change was obviously how we adapted physically, because spending 20 overs out in that heat can have an effect on the batsmen, and obviously we saw that a little bit in our innings, that some of our top order batsmen, in particular young Padikkal, they tired pretty quickly, and that's natural after you spend so much time out there doing the amount of fielding they did. So I think Virat Kohli's fitness is, you know, second to none, and the way that he controlled that innings and the chase was great to see. And you know, I think there didn't really seem to be a huge change in our plans. It was just more a case of making sure that we were physically right to chase the runs down.
Let's move on to the second game of the night. Vijay, it was a big scoring game as expected. 28 sixes in that game, Vijay. It was terrific to watch Shreyas Iyer bat last night. Led from the front, getting 80 plus for Delhi Capitals and leading them to a fine victory. Keeping his nerve under pressure as captain and then getting his bowlers to deliver the goods for him.
He is beginning to show his mettle and class, yes, because he is another stylish batsman. For years we have been hearing of Shreyas Iyer. He took a little while before coming into the Indian team, and now that he has been given the mantle of leading the team, the Delhi Capitals, he is performing a good job. And as a good captain, good leader, he took the responsibility last night and showed the way. And what a wonderfully entertaining innings it was.
And then he had Prithvi Shaw and Rishabh Pant for company, both of whom played well yesterday and took the score past the 225 mark. It was important for Delhi Capitals to get past that 225 mark because 200 seems very chaseable in Sharjah.
200 will always be looking chaseable in Sharjah, yes, but I'm very happy to see Prithvi Shaw. I mean, he is beginning to look dangerous. He's middling the ball, which is a very good sign. Shikhar Dhawan is now coming into his own. The couple of sixes which he hit were typical Shikhar Dhawan in-form shots. I think Delhi Capitals and Royal Challengers Bangalore are going to have a go at the title.
Both of them at the top of the table right now, Vijay. But KKR has the batsmen who could have chased that score down. They had Andre Russell and Owen Morgan coming in later in the order. And then they have Shubman Gill and Sunil Narayan. They have the big stroke players. But before we talk about them, let's talk about Dinesh Karthik. He seems a shadow of himself at this point of time. Maybe I'm being harsh when I call him clueless, but that is what he looks like at this point of time.
Well, when things don't go in your favor, team is not doing well, you're not getting runs. So, and then you're the captain of the side. Some selection debates, you look clueless, you look out of place. But Dinesh Karthik is a very seasoned player. He can command a place in the team just on the basis of his and the strength of his batting. Forget wicket keeping, and here he's feeling the pressure, no doubt, and he's got a lot of youngsters in the side. So give him time, maybe a couple of matches, he will come good because Dinesh Karthik is a caliber cricketer.
Maybe Dinesh Karthik has that opportunity of going at the top of the order and pairing up with Shubman Gill and seeing where his game can take him.
And in fact, Rajaraman, if I was there, I would love to see Dinesh Karthik take the responsibility, come out and open the innings, and he can do that. He has, I mean, he's a quality batsman. There is no doubt about that. And with Gill as company and right at the top, if he gets going, I'm sure he can pull the team back into reckoning, and it won't be a bad choice, not a bad idea to push Karthik up the order.
While his failure will be disturbing the Kolkata Knight Riders, they would be very happy with what Nitish Rana did and how Owen Morgan and Rahul Tripathi played at the end. Took them very close, threatened to outrun the Delhi Capitals.
But it was Rajaraman I felt too good to last. I mean, for Nitish Rana or maybe even Tripathi, the one man who could have finished the game was Morgan, and he got out at the wrong time. I mean, he played right into the lone fielder on the fence. But it was too good to last for Rana and Tripathi. Only Morgan could have finished that game.
But it was a terrific knock from Morgan in the end, 5-6, and making Rabada look very, very ordinary. Of course, the dew factor played a big role. The ball slipped. I don't think any of the bowlers was able to get a single Yorker in until we got to see Stoinis bowl that Yorker in that final over.
Yeah, that was a fantastic ball. I mean, we haven't seen many. Probably first Yorker, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe there might have been another, but this was a perfect Yorker which any fast bowler would be proud of.
And that was a great over in the end. It turned out to be a great over from Marcus Stoinis. Not the first time he is delivering under pressure. Let's go back to Raja Venkat and see what he has to say about the big game that Delhi Capitals won against Kolkata Knight Riders.
What I really felt was Morgan should have been batting higher up in the order. You can't have Russell going in at number 4. Russell should have been there for the slog overs. Morgan should have come in at number 4. Maybe if Morgan had hung around, the game may have changed a lot. That I felt was a mistake. On the part of Delhi Capitals, I don't think Ashwin was used properly. Ashwin could have been given a better run. Anyway, they were lucky that they scraped through and right now at the top of the table.
It must have been very heartbreaking for Owen Morgan to have finished on the losing side. He played those big shots, especially against a fast bowler like Rabada, and then to have come back and fronted the press would have been another challenge for the England captain. But let's watch what he has to say about last night's game.
So our coach Brendan McCullum leads that really well, and I think at a ground like Sharjah you need to accept that you have a lot of things going against you, so trying to do the basics as well as you can I think is really important. I think both sides did a reasonable job of that. I think if you look after the game how sides bowled, some bowled okay, but I think it was always going to be a high scoring game when the boundaries are so small and the wicket is so good. We'll move on. I think we've played some fantastic cricket throughout this tournament so far. I think Delhi have been the team who have looked most promising early on in the tournament, so to come out and produce a fantastic game against them but not get over the line, there are huge positives to take. I don't think a lot went wrong. I think to come to Sharjah you're always going to expect a score of 200 plus in a game, and potentially they got a couple of boundaries too many, but we were still in the game right until the 20th over, so maybe it was a 220 wicket. Maybe I'm just being a batsman. So I don't think we got a lot wrong today. I think we've had outstanding days out with the ball so far in the tournament. Our batting came to the forefront of it today. Nitish Rana played really well. So Rahul Tripathi as well, coming in for his first game in the tournament with limited opportunities to take time, struck the ball beautifully. Well, I think when he bats down the order and produces something like that, it's almost a more difficult situation to go in. It's a huge positive. I think any IPL team looking for a guy to bat at 6 or 7 and come in and score a strike rate at 250, 300, it's almost Andre Russell-like. So I think the argument would be, why wouldn't you keep him where he is when he does such a positive job?
Bowlers will be dreading plying their trade in Sharjah, small ground, and then the pitch has got very little to offer them. Mumbai Indians and Sunrisers Hyderabad. Hyderabad, of course, has got a good bowling attack, as has Mumbai Indians. Will be interesting to watch what they do in the afternoon conditions, Vijay. Late evening, the bowlers seem to be completely out of the frame, but an afternoon game in Sharjah will make for interesting viewing.
Sharjah, whether afternoon or evening, if you are going to bowl to Pollard and Hardik Pandya, you will have to be on at your best, because they can put the ball out. Into the orbit. And the fact that it's a small ground, it's a very encouraging sign once you step onto the field to bat. And Pandya and Pollard, if they get going, my God, I fear for the Hyderabad bowlers.
Yeah, one of the big challenges for Sunrisers Hyderabad will be to stage a good recovery. They had a game about 36 hours ago, and then they will have to come back and play another very, very big game against Mumbai Indians. So how they have recovered, how the physios and the rest of the support staff have helped the team will be interesting to watch.
Yeah, they all have men in places. If you see the physios, the trainers, the coaches, and then the analysts sitting there to guide you. But for Hyderabad, I want David Warner to get going. It is high time. He plays a big innings if the team has to look at upsetting Mumbai Indians, because today Mumbai Indians is going to be the favorite.
Right, and the other game where Chennai Super Kings will be challenged to stage a smart recovery after the rigors of a couple of nights before, to come back and play against Kings 11 Punjab. Both of the teams have the capability of lifting themselves up, but right now at the bottom of the table.
I think very little to choose between these two teams. One team has struggled because of poor bowling. The other team is struggling because the batting is not looking good. So for Chennai Super Kings, the responsibility lies with MS Dhoni. If he gets going, he has to marshal his resources, whatever little he has. It will be Chennai Super Kings would be the favorite, given the fact that Kings 11 Punjab has struggled with its bowlers.
Vijay, thank you very much for being here today. As always, I hope to catch up with you tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you very much, and hope we get. I'm sure we'll get some fantastic cricket to watch tonight.